Hello, Aggie fans, and welcome to today's edition of the Utah State Coaches Corner. Today, we're joined by head coach of our cross-country team, Artie Gulden. Artie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, the men's team, very exciting, qualified for the NCAA championship for just the fourth time in program history. Can you tell us a little bit about, what does that mean for the program? What does that mean for your student athletes?
Yeah, it's phenomenal accomplishment. When I took over the program, neither the men's nor the women's team had ever qualified for the NCAA championship, and so that was our goal. That was the goal that we put forward, the vision of the program to all of the kids at the time. And a short time later in 2017, we had both teams qualify, and now this is the men's fourth time qualifying. And so for them to make it and overcome that adversity just makes it that much more gratifying.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And let's talk a little bit about Jonas. So Jonas comes in, transfer from Iowa Western, had a really great, couple of years there. Last year finished, 16th in the National Junior College Championships. So, kind of transferring him over to, Division I, the Mountain West Conference, and how he's competed, last weekend in Albuquerque and heading into his first NCAA championships. How does that experience from junior college really help him and in turn help the team as they compete this weekend?
Yeah, I don't think you ever want to count on freshmen, especially in cross country, because they're making the jump from racing 5K in high school to 8K or 10K. Jonas, his adjustment has been much more seamless because he went to junior college, is used to racing the longer distances, although he had never raced a 10K before last week, and so I think he was a little nervous about that, but he's been a huge help for us this year. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have made it to the NCAA championship.
So Mark and Darren also had some great races last week that helped us place 7th in the Mountain Region Division. What does a casual Aggie fan really need to know about your team heading into the championships? And what are some, who are some student athletes that we should really be looking out for?
In terms of expectations and goals for what the team is looking to do, I'm not sure at this point, because I'll let them set that, and we haven't had that conversation. When we get to Oklahoma, we'll have that conversation. In terms of fans, usually fans don't get to watch us, compete, especially when we're not at home. But fortunately, on Saturday, the race is going to be live on ESPNU. It's early. It's an early start because ESPN needs to get the championships done before all the football games start at noon. So Central Time, the women's race will be 9:20, and then the men's 10K race will be at 10:10. So a little earlier here, an hour earlier for those that want to watch it on ESPNU.
We have two women who qualified, both Anna and Mika. Can you tell us a little bit about, maybe what it means for Mika making, the NCAA championships to cap off her senior year?
Very proud of Mika. She's worked really hard. This is now her 5th year in the program, and helped the team get there last year, and now qualifying this year, is just fantastic. We had a conversation before the race, because the goal was obviously for the team to make it, but I told her, you got to put yourself in a position, you got to be all region, give yourself an opportunity to make it as an individual in case the team doesn't get it done. And she really did a phenomenal job to find an extra gear and pass the Air Force girl to get that qualifying spot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I'll be rooting for her this weekend, and hopefully she finds that next gear again and ends up in a really good place. Talking about Anna, of course, she's transferred from BYU her first year with us this year. Can you talk a little bit about her first trip to the NCAA championships, and maybe what your conversations with her are like?
With Anna specifically, it's been a great season. She's been, she's led our team, I think, in every race that she ran. Her summer was a little bit different than a traditional summer. The summer training is really probably the most important part of the cross country season, and in terms of kids building a base and so forth, and being prepared for the workouts that we do during the season. And Anna didn't really have that because she had such a successful track season. She qualified to represent the USA at the World Under 20 Championships. And so her track season ended the beginning of August in Cali, Colombia, where she placed 8th at the World Under 20 Championships in the 5K. And I was going through that blind because I had never had someone that had that long of a track season before, where they needed to prepare then for a cross country season. They usually have the whole summer to do it, and she's done great. Going into the race this weekend, we just had a conversation, earlier today, talking about, setting goals and setting, kind of tiered goals, where her A goal would be to be All-American, but that's really difficult to do. And you got to have a lot of, good luck and, during the race and a good race throughout.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we're all, very excited for her, very excited for all the Aggies competing this weekend. Fans, don't forget, you can tune in to ESPNU, catch all of the cross-country action on Saturday, first thing in the morning before you watch your college football. Artie, thanks for everything. We appreciate it, and good luck in Stillwater.
Thanks. Appreciate it.